So today, we really focus on three core businesses: consumer, carrier, and enterprise. And in those, we focus on the generation, transmission, storage, and distribution of information. We are part of the enterprise group. And in the enterprise group, we really deliver the full stack. We design our own chips down from the storage, the chipset that's on the SSDs we manufacture, to the chipsets in the storage controllers, ARM processors. We have a full server line, storage line, switch line, and we focus on security as well. And relatively recently, we've also really expanded into the cloud space, both public, private, and hybrid. And we actually have some of our chips, examples of our chips. The chip that's on our SSD, the chip that's in our controllers, a networking chip, and our ARM processor, as well as a 32 terabyte SSD that we can pass around so you can see them. So as mentioned, cloud has become a very large focus of Huawei. It started with our first investments in cloud research around cloud computing in 2008. And since then, we have grown to one of the largest cloud providers, public cloud providers in China, and branching out into the rest of the world. So we also provide the public cloud infrastructure for partners in places like Europe and Latin America. For example, T-Systems Open Telecom Cloud is powered by Huawei technology. Telefonica Open Cloud, also powered by Huawei technology, as well as Orange. So we have a huge investment and quite a bit of experience in the public cloud as well, and that's spreading into private and hybrid cloud investment also.
Do you only partner with companies that take your products, or do you also partner with other companies providing more cloud infrastructure to the customers you have?
So I'm not part of the Cloud BU, but I'll do my best to answer that. So it's my understanding that we partner with companies so they can rebrand our offering.
Okay.
So it's kind of, they take our technology. So we don't go looking for companies that have already bought our stuff. They actually partner with us for our cloud offering and then rebrand that and sell that service to their customers. So in our strategy is we do not plan right now to do Huawei branded cloud, public cloud outside of China. So
yep.
Our strategy outside of China is partnering with companies like T-Systems,
okay.
For example. Oh. Sorry, the back button doesn't work well. Okay, so just really brief about the storage business itself. We've been in the storage business for a little over 15 years. And again, just like the company in general, we have a strong commitment to R&D. 3,600 R&D employees in the storage business alone. We're members of over 30 industry organizations, 5 storage-focused R&D centers, 2 of them here in the U.S., 1 you're sitting in, and then there's 1 in Boston. And we hold over 800 patents in storage. Okay, so our storage vision. So as you guys are well aware, there's a lot going on in the industry right now. A lot of data being generated by a lot of new technologies, the Internet of Things, autonomous cars, different ways of using that data through DevOps, cloud native applications mixing with traditional applications. And then different ways to extract value from that data, which makes companies want to keep the data longer. So more and more data is being created, more and more data is being kept longer because there's greater insights to be gained from that. And that's all improving, so it's just perpetuating the cycle. And then, of course, you throw in cloud, where do you keep your data? Private, public, hybrid? Yes to all of the above. So it's really making storage management, infrastructure, IT management very challenging. So our vision and the way we help our customers address these challenges is what we call data on demand, and really focused on three key areas this year: all flash, all cloud, and all intelligent. So flash optimized, we believe that the future is flash, or solid state media, I should say, so not just flash. It's cloud, obviously, but even though we own run a public cloud, we also believe that the future is hybrid cloud. Not everything will move to the cloud. So cloud in general, private, public, and hybrid is important to us. And intelligence, data intelligence. This is the machine learning, artificial intelligence, the ability to extract more value out of the data you have, but also help ease the management burden and the overhead of managing all this data, and ensuring the data is in the right place, so the right data is in the right place at the right time based on the value of the data and the cost of the infrastructure. So when the business needs the data, it's available, but when they don't, it's being stored economically and in a way that's aligns with the business needs. And on top of all that, we provide a consistent user experience, whether the application's enterprise or cloud native, whether it's on public cloud or private cloud or a combination of the two. Okay. Going to throw a lot of information at you about our portfolio. As I mentioned, this Tech Field Day is about our all-flash array, so we'll go deep into that. So I'm going to go at a high level to cover our portfolio. So as I mentioned, we have a full range of storage products. Starting on the left, in the product we'll cover in detail today, is our Dorado. That's our native flash array, built from the ground up for flash and solid state media. So, think in the future, storage class memory. Next to that is our Ocean Store F series. That's our flash optimized product. That is from our branding and packaging from our Ocean Store line, which is our hybrid platform. So spinning media and flash. Important to note that the all flash and the hybrid flash products share common feature sets. So even though Dorado was built from the ground up, it is compatible feature set with our traditional storage products. And I'll talk about this a little bit more when we get into the Huawei, to the Dorado overview. But the feature sets are the same, so we can replicate from our native all-flash array to one of our hybrid products. So think replication, asynchronous replication. You don't need to do all flash to all flash with our Huawei products. Then on the right here we had
Dorado series that are flash storage and the non-Dorado series which are flash storage.
So this is just the Dorado. This is the F series of the Ocean Store product line, but it's the all-flash version.
So Dorado is another developed product in and of itself that's specifically for flash.
Exactly.
Hybrid.
Exactly. So the Dorado product, so the Ocean Store Dorado V3 was designed specifically for flash, where the hybrid flash storage, so the Ocean Store V3 and V5 products were developed initially for spinning media, way back when we first developed them, and then optimized for flash as flash became more popular. So there's a lot of flash optimization in it, but there's also the ability to accommodate spinning disk. And so this year we released worldwide the F series, which is the Ocean Store product that only sells with flash in it. And then on the right-hand side is our cloud storage, what we call our cloud storage, primarily focused on the Fusion storage. That's our software-defined storage product. And I've got a slide in the deck that will give you a high-level overview of the software-defined storage. Of course, we layer on top of that our data management software. Everything from device manager, which is like our element manager, embedded element manager, to eSite, which is our kind of our SRM tool. That's our centralized management alerting reporting tool. The Ocean Store DJ, which is fits in the category of software-defined storage controller, which is also our automation and orchestration tool. And I'll talk a little bit about that, how we have solutions that bring these together. Then eService. eService is our intelligent operations and management platform. So think predictive analytics, cloud-based predictive analytics, remote support, things like that, trouble ticket generation. And then on top of the software and hardware, we layer our solutions. And the solution that I'm going to focus on today is, in this brief overview, is our storage as a service solution there on the left. But we also have like surveillance cloud solutions, media cloud, HPC, things like that. Okay, so I'm going to touch on a few of the products at a very high level. As I mentioned, Dorado, this is our native all-flash array, and this is the product we're going to go much deeper in today in the architecture. We think it's pretty fast, 4 million IOPS at 500 microseconds latency, and we'll talk later in the architectural deep dive how we achieve that and how we measure that. It's, of course, scale out and scale up. It has a lot of enterprise class features, and we'll talk about that in the overview. But it really, between the hardware, software architecture, and the feature set, it delivers 6 nines of availability. And of course, things like inline deduplication and compression. Okay, so next, the Ocean Store V5 product. This is our traditional enterprise storage array. And we have the whole range of portfolio, everything from low-end, entry-level, 2-controller, that 3-step setup, deploy in under a minute in the data center, really targeted at robo installations. But it's very, very simple to deploy, ranging all the way up to the 18,000, which is a 16-controller, 16 terabytes of cache, over 9,600 disks. So from the low end to the high end, all based on the Ocean Store storage operating system. So common feature set, common management across that whole range, from the low end to the high end, including SAN and NAS integration. So this isn't a gateway, it's not a blade inside the chassis, it is actually NAS and SAN sitting as peers that can be turned on or off as needed. And it's fast. Scales up to 6 million IOPS at 1 millisecond latency. Fusion Storage, our software-defined storage product. This is a multi-protocol product, a scale out to over 4,000 nodes, over an exabyte of data capacity, and with today's hardware, over 10 million IOPS. Supports a variety of protocols, block, file, and object, including, of course, Swift, S3, NFS CIFS. Can be deployed on commodity servers, of course, that are on our compatibility list, or purchased as an appliance on Huawei x86 servers. And I wanted to mention, while it wasn't on our product overview slide, we do have a hyper-converged solution as well, and I know that hyper-converged is very popular these days, so I wanted to make sure that we pointed out that we do have a hyper-converged platform. It supports our own Fusion Storage hypervisor, which is based on OpenStack, VMware, and KVM. It uses Fusion Storage block as the storage layer. So those two products are tightly integrated. And on top of this, we also have a variety of solutions focused primarily on data, specifically for databases. So storage as a service. I mentioned this as a solution that pulls a lot of things together. So our data on demand vision really comes together with our storage as a service solution. And this is really our private storage cloud offering for on-premise. And it offers a self-service portal. So for users to multiple tenants to browse into and provision their own storage resources. Of course, we have northbound APIs to tie into third-party cloud management products as well. And I'll talk a little bit more about this on the next slide, but it also allows us to do storage virtualized storage into pools, so create virtual storage pools and assign workloads to the right storage, so back to the right storage, putting the data on the right platform at the right time. Storage as a service is what allows us to do that, or allows the customer to do that. So basically what we do is create a virtual pool of storage. And this can be heterogeneous storage. So it can be ours, our Ocean Store, traditional enterprise storage, or our Fusion storage product. So software defined or traditional. And we understand what the characteristics of that storage is. So from that, we create SLAs or tiers that map to the characteristics of the storage in the pool. So you could have a tier that has a performance requirement and a data protection requirement. And take tier 0, for example. It has a greater than 10,000 IOPS per terabyte at less than a millisecond latency, but it also requires active-active replication. So a user would enter the self-service portal. All they'd need to do is say, I need, and using a LUN as an example, I need a 500 gig LUN that maps to tier 0. They just pick the size and the tier, and then our storage as a service solution, leveraging the eSite product and the DJ product, automate the provisioning of that LUN based on the characteristics defined in the SLA or the tier. So that LUN would be created at the size that it was requested on the appropriate storage platform down here. And there could be multiple storage platforms that meet that need. It will, based on intelligence built into the product, either from eSite or the eService product, it will pick the most appropriate storage platform based on like capacity trends, performance trends, and the platform that can offer the active-active replication. And then there's even a site availability zone intelligence in it, so it will pick an availability zone and automatically create that active-active replication.
Rob, that tier 0 with 10,000 IOPS, is that the highest you can get?
No, that's just an example.
Right, okay.
Yeah. So that could be, and we actually have a service that we work, because a lot of times the customer doesn't know initially, depending on the sophistication of the customer, they might not know what they really need. So we'll go in and work with them to define, based on their business needs, what their SLAs or tiers should look like.
It's actually interesting because you're the second vendor that I've heard of only that looks at IO density as a service level approach. As it grows, as you get more terabytes, you have to provision more IOPS to that same workload. There's only one other vendor I know that does that, and I find that interesting. The 10,000 IOPS per terabyte actually is extremely dense, by the way. So when you say it's only 10,000, that's actually a lot for 1 terabyte.
For 1 terabyte, yeah. So wanting to tie this back into, so as we talk about that data on demand vision and putting the right data in the right place at the right time, this is what helps us do that. And we can also monitor the workloads to make sure that they're still on the right platform. So if an SLA looks like it's going to be breached, we can take preventative measures to either raise it up an SLA, so move from tier 1 to tier 0, provided, of course, tier 0 supports all of the characteristics that are in tier 1 that need to go with it.
So the thing that's providing this service level approach is what? What's the piece that's doing that?
So the storage as a service solution is a layer that coordinates products like Ocean Store DJ.
But it only works with your products?
Oh, no. We can, at the virtual storage pool layer, we can support third party, but we use things like Cinder, right? So open source, open standard interfaces. So there's more limited support, but what is exposed through Cinder, we can expose up into SLAs.
But Cinder's just an open solution. I'm talking about other third-party branded vendors, like, the EMCs, the NetApps,
yeah.
the Hitachis, right?
Yeah.
Can they be in there as regular lunch storage too?
Oh, yes.
Right. So I mean, because it's a great approach. Obviously, nobody ever has one brand of storage everywhere.
Yeah.
Especially if we have multiple tiers.
Yeah, and another important thing, I'm not sure if you guys have probably heard of OpenSDS. OpenSDS, the consortium. It's part of the Linux Foundation. We are a leader in working to define standards around the requirements in driving OpenSDS, which is really another approach to supporting heterogeneous storage in a software-defined storage controller at the control plane level. So as OpenSDS evolves, we will leverage OpenSDS to improve our heterogeneous storage support even further with our STOS solution. And OpenSDS is a combination of storage vendors and customers that are part of it, driving that standard. Okay, and the final slide here is, I talked about intelligence. One of our three pillars is all intelligent. And we strongly believe in the value of machine learning, artificial intelligence, predictive analytics, and how that can help reduce the human effort and time to resolution of issues, all the things you've heard before, open trouble tickets before there's an impact, before the customer knows anything's going on. But beyond that, to make sure that, like I said, the LUN you create on that STOS puts on a storage array today might not be the right place for it in a month, right? Because things change, workloads change, new applications are added. So eService is where we're investing our artificial intelligence and to be able to watch things like that, performance trends, capacity trends, how workloads interact. That will all come through eService, and eService is for more than just our storage platform.
Can you, before we move on, can you go a little deeper into what you mean by AI-based management?
So having not too deep, probably not as deep as you can. It's about having the machine, the eService, actually make the decisions. So make recommendations based on what it's seen to replace the human,
Sure, but I guess more particularly, do you have any insight as to how that's happening, or is that going a little too deep here?
That's too deep for me.
Okay.
I'm not actually deeply involved in that piece, so I'm sorry. I can't answer that. But like I said, this is where our predictive analytics and this is where our intelligence will evolve to help the customer and us manage their IT environment. So not just storage, but the whole Huawei IT environment.